Hey, what's up everybody, Alex here. Thank you for checking this video and welcome to another episode of the Design Factory. So everything changed basically. The other night, it was around 10:30 p.m., 11 p.m. I was ready to go to bed. I opened my sketch file to see the status of my design, of the design of my new website, and I wasn't happy at all. Like, I reopened the file, I think after a couple of weeks. I worked on it the last time and everything changed in my mind, everything was wrong, I didn't like what I was seeing, and so I decided to start from scratch. I decided to rebuild everything, and this process, other than being like it's my fault because I'm kind of mental sometimes when I design, I just like halfway through the end of the process I'm like, no, let's restart completely from scratch because I hate what I'm seeing. It's also something really common that happens to everybody, happens to every designer. While you're working, your mind starts to see things differently, especially if you see the same thing every day for a long period of time. You start not realizing what you're doing. You start not seeing any more wrong things. You just don't see those. It's just like writing a book or writing a sentence, a really long one, for days, and you don't see typos anymore because you wrote that and you looked at that thing for too long. So it's pretty normal that if you don't work on something for a long period of time and you reopen it and you rewatch it, you watch it with fresh eyes. We used to say this a lot of times. Look at your work with fresh eyes, and it's something that everyone should do. You should have a 1 or 2 days of buffer, if you can even more, like working on other things. You just refresh your mind, you refresh your eyes, and look at your work from a different perspective. After a couple of days, after a week, you will notice something completely different. You will notice something that before wasn't obvious for you, was like everything was working fine. So I do that sometimes while I'm designing. If I have time, I like to have a little bit of time of buffer to refresh my mind and look again at my design. So that's what I did. I looked at the design of my website and I didn't like it at all. And it's not just a matter of not liking it or liking it, like it looks good, it doesn't look good. It's a matter of technical aspects, like from a developer point of view, what works and what doesn't work. So let's take a look of the design, how it was, and I'm gonna show you what I did and why I did those things, all the decision behind all the changes that I made. So first of all, this was the current status, or the most recent status of my design. The last time I showed you guys how the design was, and we have this big header, everything, the font, the typography, everything is based on Roboto's Lab, that it's a font from Google Font. And this was the first issue that I noticed. Roboto's Lab wasn't really readable, especially in this type of area here, like in this type of area here, when we have small amount of text on like 100% views. It's kind of like, it's too complicated. It's not like super readable. It's readable and really engaging when you have this font size, like pretty big, bold, a lot of letter spacing, it's good. But when you have like small font size, it's not really readable. So first issue, I didn't really want to change font. I wanted to stay in the same font family just to avoid to load too many fonts. But that was the first issue. Like, I'm not really happy of how this is looking. The second issue was about the header. Yes, I like it. It's like reflects my color, that is this gradient of red from dark to light red, and has this background image. And the first question was like, do I need a background image? Why I need the background image? Usually a background image in a header area, it's used to represent a product, represent a space, or give a sort of emotional connection to the user just by showing what's gonna be, like what this website is about. My website is gonna be about tutorial, about development and design, so this picture was kind of okay, but it's it's not really useful. Like, it's obvious, like we have a big header with written high quality tutorials for designer and developers, so I don't really need the background image. It's just something more, something plus, that especially this background image, because we have this gradient on top and there's this blur, like sort of vignette effect around. It's an image that I have to retouch, and it's an image that I have to be careful that it's gonna work on every type of screen size. And this is a lot of work, especially if I don't wanna have the same image for an entire year. Maybe I want to change image once a month. I have to retouch properly those images, and that adds work and time to spend on these things, and I didn't really want to do that. So it's kind of like laziness was involved between like liking this thing or not liking it. And plus, the overall purpose of this website is content. For me, the most important thing is giving users access to content. And a picture, it's something that is gonna take a while, especially a big picture as a background is not super important, is not something that it's part of the content. So if I don't have the picture, the website won't work. The website will work absolutely fine even without a picture, but the picture will add loading time. And if I need a good quality picture, it has to be slightly big, and it's gonna add loading time. I want these websites to be as accessible as possible on every device, on every type of connection, especially because I have a lot of users, I have a lot of students from parts of the world where connectivity is not the best. They have like really slow connection. So adding images is not the best to make it accessible to everybody. So moving on, we have the recently updated series. It's a good section, but I don't know if you noticed, I had the feeling after a while looking at this is really cluttered, this is really convoluted. First, we have a background image, and then we have the logo image, and then we have a couple of icons, a big number, the title, and a drawer, like a settings drawer on the right. And if you click, you open and you have more icons, more settings. Is this really useful? Is this what I want the user to do? I mean, if you don't read these boxes, especially the nerd continuity or this one, if you don't read the title and if you don't put your attention on the logo, the icon, you cannot understand what these boxes are about. Like, okay, these are serious, but what's this series is about? I have no idea, because I have a background image that doesn't tell me anything, and the background image is the first thing that I see. Plus, I have to read the title, I have too many informations that are distracting me. Like, I don't think, from a personal point of view, that when you guys are looking at the series, at a series of tutorials, you are really interested at the amount of videos or if has a good background image. I don't care about that. I'm just really interested in like, what's the topic and can I access that for free? Yes, okay, so there's too much going on here, too many things, too many options, too much interactivity, and it's disrupting for the flow, for the user flow. And also in this case, connectivity is really important. To load all this stuff, I'm gonna have 4 different pictures to load. And because I wanna use one featured image, this featured image is gonna be used also inside the section of a single series. Featured image has to be big, and that means I have to extract the smallest or the smaller version of the featured image to make it load properly in this area. Plus, I have to query the database. I have to create unique scripts to detect the amount of videos that I put inside this thing and the level, the intermediate level, so I have to query custom fields. Plus I have all these options, the sharing, favorite, follow, and rate, and all these options that are here, all these options are gonna be controlled, if I want to do those, are gonna be controlled with JavaScript. So a lot of JavaScript related actions and hooks just for a section that I don't really think it's useful. I don't really think everyone is gonna use it. Like, I can't wait to access the homepage and just open the drawer and select that I wanna share these or I wanna click on favorite. Like, who does that before accessing the actual content? Like, you don't favorite an article just by reading the title. Maybe you save it for later, but you don't favorite it because if the article is not useful, what's the point? So you have to access the content before make those decisions. So all these interactivity on the first place are too much. So I decided to strip a lot. The other section is the last published videos. Nothing really going on here, nothing much to say because these are gonna be just direct embed from YouTube. So I cannot control what's the graphic it is. Most likely, probably I could create a future image that is different, is more aligned with what I have, but I don't have much time. So I'm just gonna embed the YouTube video and this section is gonna be pretty much like this. The forum is just pretty straightforward, nothing to say about. Blog updates, kind of weird because this type of configuration was good, was okay, but the future image was too small in my opinion and was almost not touching the actual title box. So the title box is, I don't know, 20 pixel of distance or something inside the future image, so gives a lot of importance to the future image. And this type of format, this is like a sort of 16:9 type of format, will force me to print the entire future image inside that box. So I have to extract the entire future image, not a cut portion, and put it inside here because it has to be visible for the entire ratio of the future image. Instead, what I decided to do, I decided to integrate more the box inside the future image and having a different ratio for the future image so I can cut a part of the future image and extract it and load a way smaller future image, a way streamlined version of the future image and optimized future image for that section. And that was kind of a good thought, I think. And pretty much nothing to say about the footer because it's all content, so all text. I redesigned everything and now guys, I'm gonna show you what I did. So brace yourself because it's gonna be fantastic, I hope, or horrible. It depends on you. Boom, there you go. So if we jump back to the previous one, we have pretty much the same settings, same header, but if you notice, first, the font has changed. I remained inside the Roboto family type, but I'm using first a Roboto regular type of font for regular font. So when something has to be readable, the font size is kind of smaller. I'm using Roboto regular, so no weird things, a really standard type of font. When I have title, big title of CTAs, I can use a more particular font, always part of the Roboto family, called Roboto Condensed. And I really like the font because it squishes kind of the font, like the lettering all together, gives like this elongated font, and it's really compelling. I really like it. Background, here we have the gradient that it's fully achievable with CSS, so a 0 loading time. And plus I created this pattern that I don't know if you notice here, you can see it. Let me go on a lighter, like probably here. Yeah, all these icons, this is a repeated pattern. If you guys analyze, we have the mouse here, we have another mouse here. So we have an area of icons that it's a square and it's just a PNG, super small PNG that I'm gonna repeat as a background. So I don't have to worry about resizing or creating the perfect size for every device or every screen size because it's just a repeated background. It gives a nice pattern background. It's interesting, it's kind of compelling, like all these icons are cool or nice, like line icons, and all these icons are gonna be reused inside the website, so are not just there because they look nice. I'm gonna use those icons inside the website as well. So it's a really cool effect. It's a nice, funny, entertaining type of header, but it doesn't create any issue for the user. It doesn't matter what type of connectivity he has. Way bigger button, a way bigger font size, more compelling for the main CTA. I removed the browse all the content because That's a user experience type of decision. So before we had the sign up here and then the browse all the content here for if a user decides to not sign up, click the browse all the content. My idea was to jump inside the tutorial section or the series section and show the user an entire list of series. But do I really want to do that? So the user basically is going to be forced to jump to a completely new section because doesn't want to sign up. So I'm interrupting the experience of the user and I'm interrupting his ability to keep scrolling down and check the rest of the website. So I don't want to do that. If the user doesn't want to sign up with the big CTA, it's most likely it's gonna keep scrolling down. Like, it's pretty impossible. It's pretty unusual that a user access a website, sees the first screen, oh, sign up, no, I don't want to sign up. Well, I guess I cannot browse the website, and closes the website. That's not how internet works. That's not how like people browse the web. The first thing that a user does when access a website is scrolling or swiping on the device. So why do I have to put a chevron or a button or another link to say, hey, check the website you just accessed? Because I mean, you could close the website before even checking its content. No, that's not how it works. So let's remove useless call to actions, useless links that clutter the overall area, and let's just leave the users the ability to navigate wherever they want. Scrolling down, we have this intro area that is just simply Roboto, and it's big font, super readable. And now we access the recently updated series. And look at that. I'm really proud of this. Like, it's super simple, super simple. Always remember this. Even not only coding, but also design has to be super simple. First, the thing that I really like is just you don't need to read the title of whatever things you have in these boxes, and you already know what this series is going to be about. This is going to be about WordPress. This is Sass. This is WordPress, but it's orange. So maybe it's more complicated than the blue version, because the orange, it's a brighter, like more active, more powerful color. Instead, the blue is like more relaxed and chill. So what's the difference between these two WordPress? This is the logo of the Nerd Continuity that for a new user is not going to be recognizable. But it doesn't matter because it removes this section from the consistency or from the group of tutorials about development or design. So this is a symbol that detaches these series from the other series and visually works, visually gives the user already, I know where to click. I know if something is interesting for me about WordPress, I already know where to click without even reading the title. Here we just have the titles because of course we want to say what this WordPress or what this section is about, if it's a WordPress for beginner or premium theme development, or about this, the Nerd Continuity podcast. And that's it. If you're interested in this, learning Sass, learning WordPress, you just click on it, you access the section, and in the section you're gonna have all the options, all the information, how complicated, what's the level, how many videos you have inside. You wanna share it, add to favorite, rate the tutorial series. You can do whatever you want, but it's something that is not important for the user on the first screen. So remove all the clutter, remove all the issues, and just give big giant boxes, easy to tap, easy to click, easy to access. The other important thing about this section, these are gonna be font icons. I'm gonna create a font icon with my custom icons, and I'm gonna use those as an image. Or if I don't want to, I can create also GIFs or PNGs super light. And this is gonna reduce the loading time drastically compared to these other section where every box had an image, and that means loading 4 images for 4 boxes. And can you imagine accessing the section all series, having 20 or 30 different series and loading an image for every series? It's not doable. This is way more manageable, way more doable, way more accessible for users with slow connectivity. Scrolling down, As I said before, same section, last videos, it comes from YouTube, so nothing to say about. Forum updates, I just changed the font, and also in this case the font is way more readable. Scrolling down, I updated a little bit, like I said before, the block section. So the block section, as I said before, I have a bigger type of square, like a 4:3 ratio. This gives me the ability to cut and extract from WordPress itself. I can create a unique image size from within the functions, the settings of WordPress, automatically extract that type of size to use it in this section. And the way I integrated the card of the title, this title card inside the blog post featured image, is way more obvious that this title belongs to this image and everything is part of the same block. It's not disconnected like it was before. It's not a huge change, not a huge deal, but makes a lot of difference. It's more inclusive and I think it looks way better. Going on, I just changed the picture to this beautiful one. I love this picture. I took it the other day. I think that's I should name this the phase of development, and this is fantastic. And this underneath the here, it's a solution that I'm experimenting with. So this is the highlight of a link inside the content. I didn't want to change color because it kind of too disruptive. I want to create something kind of unique, something new, something engaging, something easy to grasp at first sight. So you notice there, it looks kind of like an error. It looks like it's highlighted because it's an error, but it's red. It's like a different type of red, but it's red because it's the overall color of my website. And with that specific element, I can create a nice CSS transition animation to give a cute or like a really engaging rollover effect. There you have it, the new design of the website. And I said I started from scratch again, but I didn't change anything about the wireframe. If we access the old wireframes, are still exactly the same. The structure, the overall rhythm of the section is exactly the same, because if you do a good wireframing section and you analyze the user experience, the user journey that you want to give them, and you build a wireframe that is consistent and reflects what you want to communicate with your website, you don't need to go back to the drawing board and doing wireframes again. That's a thing that you fully thought through, and you don't need to go back to that. You can do a completely different design from the same wireframe. And this is amazing. The wireframes are made on like gray boxes, just simple text, no crazy style, because these wireframes can accept whatever type of design. So you can do something more fancy with images and a type of fancy font, something more cluttered, a lot of information, or you can go super flat, super simple, super easy, and the wireframe still can be adapted to both styles. Let me know what you think. Like, do you think it was a good decision? Do you like more the old design or the new design? I'm gonna share in the description below both links to access this design. There's gonna be a public link where you can access the old design and the new design and see it, compare it by yourself, like a full size, full screen, so you can see better what I did. And let me know in the comment below if you like it. Let me know if these turning on events like completely destroyed your idea of what this website should look like. But in my opinion, it's way cleaner, way easier to code, way easier to maintain, so I can focus my attention and my effort on the content instead of doing pretty pictures for the series. And thank you so much everybody for checking this video. If you liked it, please, as usual, give it a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And if you want, just share this video, put it on your social media, create a discussion on my Facebook page. You can start a discussion, ask a question about design or development, and we'll try to answer. The community is growing and everyone is answering, is contributing to the community itself with answers. Sometimes a user has also a better answer than myself, and I love it. I'm learning from you guys, so please doing what you're doing, like keep doing it, let's keep building this amazing community all together. And this website, I can't wait to code it because it's gonna give everyone the ability to really contribute in the community in a thoughtful way and help a lot of designers and developers that want to learn something cool every day. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll talk to you in the next video.